I like building LEGO military vehicles, and this is my heavy infantry fighting vehicle. Let me show you all about it. I've based the design mostly on the Swedish CV90 family of vehicles, the Sturf 90, but I've taken some heavy inspiration from other designs, which is usually what I do. The main gun is what's supposed to be either a 40mm autocannon or maybe a 57. I'm personally partial to the 57mm because I think it's a lot cooler, but the 40mm is also pretty damn cool. Either way, a very formidable gun. Definitely the type of armament that something this size could support. It has a lot of smoke launchers, which are great if you are hauling around infantry, which this is an infantry fighting vehicle, so that is its job. It's got 2 missile launchers. These are probably supposed to be American TOW missiles. Unlike the Bradley, which is what I base these missiles on, I don't need to fold them out. There really isn't a way to do so. They don't need to fold out on top, which allows for faster deployment. Up top, there's some hatches. You can get them open and put a figure in there. Though, in all honesty, this is probably supposed to be an unmanned turret, so I don't really know why those would be used. Either way, it's there. It works. I've got a bunch of optics on top to support that unmanned turret. I've got a remote weapon station with a 50 cal put on top of it. These studs right here are supposed to be weapon ports, reminiscent of the M2 Bradley's port-firing weapon, the M231. I'm a pretty big fan of that. Metal Gear fans, they know. Or I guess Phantom Forces fans, if you're one of those. We've got some technically functioning, but probably my worst work for suspension systems. These don't actually move really at all. There's like a very slight amount of wiggle room to them. I'm going to rework that entirely at some point, but that point is not today. I guess I didn't show this earlier, but the main gun can move up and down as you'd expect from a cannon. It's also got a side machine gun, probably a 7.62 or something. Nothing crazy. A big focus on this vehicle, and really the family it's based on, is its modularity. As seen here, you can just take the turret off, and now you have what's effectively a heavy APC. I don't really know why you would do this over keeping the turret, but if you want to, you don't have to have the turret. You can see that there's some doors right here, along with the rear door, which I haven't actually shown yet. I'll show in a minute. But these hatches open and can allow for people to bail out of the top, along with, as, obvious, the back. Speaking of the back, let's move on to that. Here is the back. We have a couple of holes right here, which actually, let's see if I can get them open without, no, not really. Well, there's some ports here that you can shove a machine gun out of, or you can just open the door entirely. You can probably see it if I move my fat hand out of the way. Inside, there's some figures right now. You can't really see them too well because the light sucks. They also have to have their helmets off because it's not really tall enough for them with their helmets on. There we go, that's a little, that's okay. But you can fit 8 to 10 inside. It's a lot of space, actually, which, hey, that's a pretty good size. You can fit like a whole squad in there. Now, as I said, modularity is a pretty big focus of this vehicle. There's a lot of places that have certain components or parts that can just be swapped out. The biggest upgrade, or I guess side grade, not quite an upgrade, I'd say, would be this. This is a second vehicle I have of the same family, but this is supposed to be the tank destroyer variant. Let me move the IFV out of the way. Now, this tank destroyer still has just as much space in the back. I'm not going to bother opening it, you can believe me. But instead of the autocannon, it now has a main gun attached to it. This is probably supposed to be a 120, though maybe it's a 105. Either way, it's a gun that's capable of killing tanks. It's taken off the missile launcher that was on the other one because, well, it's not really necessary anymore since we have a gun to kill tanks. It also would be pretty good for maybe fire support, artillery, maybe, something like that. The same kind of role that the Booker, the M10 Booker, was supposed to provide for the U.S. military before we retired it after like a week. Either way, same general design as the IFV here, except now it's got a big-ass gun. And that is my latest heavy infantry fighting vehicle. If you liked the video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I have a lot more content similar to this that I've already put out and will continue to put out. I love building LEGO military stuff, and I still have quite a few videos to produce before I run out of things and start having to make new ones. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.